the slide, the chart that's on the extreme right, that I would prefer that elections are entirely peaceful, even if it is not completely free and fair. We see that a solid majority demand jail terms for party supporters who engage in electoral fraud and violence, and now we all would understand why. And over there we see that close to 60%, 59% are saying that arrest and jail culprits for a period of not less than 3 years, 3 months, and then arrest and sentence culprits to a fine. These are the top runners, which means that Ghanaians really expect that those who engage in fraud and violence during elections should be punished. I'm going to move on to the views about the election management body and relevant election institutions. Of course, the Electoral Commission is a referee of the game we call elections. So most Ghanaians believe the EC and other state election-related bodies are well prepared for the elections. Now, we see, however, that the Ghana Armed Forces, the media, Ghana Police Service lead the AC when it comes to the preparedness. But of course, the EC is also up there, 83% are saying that they are prepared. And then the Domestic Election Observation Group, which we really need in our elections, is also considered to be fairly well prepared. We also see that solid majorities are positive in their evaluations of the EC's competence and integrity of its leadership, as well as the new voters' role. The EC also enjoys decent trust ratings, but this is less than what we see for the armed forces, the media, and the police. The EC comes third in that order, and the least trusted are the small opposition parties. We see that very large majorities are also very confident about the ability of Ghana's official and informal institutions to resolve violence in the upcoming elections. So just shy of 4% are saying that the Ghana Armed Forces, they are confident that Ghana Armed Forces can resolve conflicts, all the way down to citizen peace committees and NGOs and CSOs. So Ghanaians really believe that if something does occur, we are well prepared to resolve it. Okay, so what is the confidence in the integrity of the upcoming elections? Let's see what Ghanaians are saying. A strong majority expect free and fair elections. So 80% are saying that free and fair they expect that the elections to be free and fair with minor problems, or completely free and fair. But my concern here is the 14% who are saying that free and fair election, that they expect that the elections might be free and fair with major problems or not free at all. So that is what we should, why are people south the 14%? Because this is an adult population. Like I said in the beginning, it's not a census, it's not everyone. So we're taking a sample. So if you look at what the adult population of Ghana is, 14% is quite significant. And a significant proportion of Ghanaians are concerned about the likely vote buying, political party violence, incorrect vote counts, and announcements of results. Now, if the elections are supposed to be free and fair, why are people concerned about these? So we see that 79% are saying that political parties and candidates are buying their votes. 62% say political parties or candidates will use violence. 52% think that political parties and candidates will ignore election laws. And even when they cast their votes, 44% are saying that their votes will not be counted properly. And then 34% think that their vote is not secret, which means that powerful people can know who they voted for. And then worse, 32% think that even though they cast a ballot, their vote will not be counted. Let me just go back to that slide about what we saw in 2016. So in 2016, vote buying was 60% in the July survey and 69% in October, which means that there's a huge jump from October to 4 years ago to 2020, that vote buying is more rampant in this upcoming elections. The vote will not be counted was also lower in the 2016 election, but higher in 2020. The incorrect results will be announced was also lower. So all of these indicators have gone up in this survey. Okay, so majorities also cited tension, confusion, and violence at the registration sectors as factors that could negatively affect the quality of the voters' register. All right, so I'll move on to prospects for peaceful and non-violent elections. Now, we've seen what the fears and apprehensions are for Ghanaians. Let's see what the prospects are for peaceful and non-violent elections. We see that almost half see the likelihood of violence before, during, and after the elections. Now, 45% are saying that there's going to be violence during the election campaigns. The same equal numbers are saying the same for on election day and after elections, particularly when results are being announced. Again, we've seen that these numbers have gone up steeply from the 2016 survey 4 years ago. Almost a third of Ghanaians anticipate violent confrontation between incumbent party and security forces, opposition parties and security forces, and within political parties. Again, the numbers have gone up a little bit since the 2016 pre-election survey. So between political parties and within the political parties, as well as between the incumbent party and security forces, has gone up marginally. We see that a fifth of Ghanaians believe in the possibility of suffering negative reprisals for their vote. Now, voting is it's supposed to be a peaceful and civic responsibility. Why should people worry about that? And now, for us, that is a little concerning, that although it looks like 22% on the chart, it is worrying that 22% of the adult population feel that they will suffer negative reprisals for their votes. We also see that majorities endorse the presence of domestic and international election observers, and that in the event of a disputed election, 8 in 10, which is 80%, prefer the use of courts to seek redress. Ghanaians overwhelmingly accept the EC's authority to declare results. So everyone will be tallying votes. Just take note that Ghanaians are saying that it's only the Electoral Commission that can declare results, for the courts to make a binding decision, and for the police to enforce the law. Ghanaians also overwhelmingly abhor political violence. They abhor the destruction of public and private property, such as offices or vehicles, by angry political party supporters. So this message should go to those who fomented trouble in Elodudiodo. That is 7% shy of 100% that are saying that they should not destroy other parties' property. A very large majority also rejects the use of violence as a political instrument. Again, we see 1 in 5 Ghanaians believe citizens should be free to defy. No. So let me retract that a bit and come back. So for us, when we say we are highlighting some of these negatives that we found in this data, that, like I said, I'm hammering on that no matter what the percentage looks like, we have to equate it to the adult population. So if you're saying that 1 in 5 Ghanaians believe citizens should be free to defy police orders they disagree with in the upcoming 2020 election, it's a matter of concern. A clear majority of Ghanaians remain concerned about the activities of vigilante groups. As you can see, 71% that are saying that the activities of political party-affiliated vigilante groups continue to threaten or undermine the peace and security in this country. And then close to 4 in 10 have heard or witnessed violence during the voter registration exercise. Now, the first bar that says the recent voter registration exercise comes to 39% who saw violence or some form of, disorder during the exercise. We also see that 8 in 10 Ghanaians believe that the presence of armed security personnel will make them feel free and more secure. Now, this looks good, but it's troubling that, a voting exercise, which is supposed to be a peaceful exercise, you go and vote and go back home, you only feel secure when there's an armed policeman there. Nobody is stealing anything. So why should that be the case? So the previous slide that I showed tells us why people are beginning to feel that they need to be protected to cast their ballots. 4 in 10 Ghanaians report having heard the use of intemperate language during the campaigns. Now, I'm going to move on to what has become, common in our elections. And we saw the numbers as I compared 2016 and 2020 to how it's risen over time, vote buying. Let's see what Ghanaians are saying. So Ghanaians see the election year projects governments are, commissioning and doing around as vote buying. Again, we see a majority of Ghanaians indicate that while they will take money, it will not influence their votes. So 44% say, I will take the money and vote for a candidate of my choice. 33% say, I will refuse the money and vote for a candidate of my choice. All the way down to those who said they didn't know what to do. We again see that close to 1 in 10 have reported being offered money, food, other gifts for their votes. Again, 70% who say they have been offered gifts in exchange for their votes have cited the MPP as the culprit, followed by the NDC and then other parties. By far, cash transactions overwhelm and dominate vote buying schemes in the 2020 elections. So 70% are saying they've been offered money, 33% said food, clothing 19%, and of alcohol is also in there, 5% said they've been given alcohol. So what are the views on campaign promises and performance? Majority are saying that the MPP and NDC campaigns have focused on issues. The ruling MPP party have generally focused on issues affecting citizens rather than personalities, which is 63%. The NDCs is at 53% for, and then 42% for the smaller party. So increasingly we are seeing that campaigns are dealing with the real issues of development rather than on insults or personalities. But we see an 11 percentage point difference between respondents who believe the MPP campaign promises are realistic versus those who believe the same for the NDC. We again see a 15 percentage point difference between the confidence in the MPP's ability to deliver on campaign promises versus that of the NDC. Ghanaians perceive the difference between NDC and the MPP when it comes to their respective performance in office. So development policies, and to a lesser extent, the honesty and integrity of who is in office. I'm going to move quickly to what we call voting intentions. It's getting exciting. So we see that almost all adults, which is just 2% shy of 100%, claim to have registered to vote in the 2020 elections. And then 9 in 10 say they intend to vote, almost 90%. But we also wanted to look at those who said they were registered to vote, but will probably not vote. Where are they located? So we see that 13% are located in Greater Accra. This is those who were registered to vote but will not vote. Western 10%. It's only in the Northeast and Savannah regions that everyone is going to vote. And then we want to look at this by the other socio-demographics, as well age. So we see that about 8% of young adults 18 to 35 said they wouldn't vote. Young adults 35 to 50, 4%. The numbers are quite small, but it's still interesting. The elderly are rivaling the young adults in terms of not going to vote. Urban areas, 8% said they wouldn't vote, and rural, 4% said they wouldn't vote. A majority of Ghanaians say yes, they are affiliated to a particular political party. So 55% say yes, they feel close to a particular party, and 41% say they don't feel close to any party, and 5% refuse to say or said they do not know. About 1 in 4 Ghanaians would vote for presidential and parliamentary candidates from different political parties. So the skirt and blouse phenomenon is still rife in our politics. So you see that 65% are saying that they'll vote for a preferred parliamentary candidate, and a presidential candidate will be from the same party. But the 23% is what I'm actually referring to as the skirt and blouse. So the preferred parliamentary and presidential candidates party will be from different political parties. Residents in the Northeast, Oti, Volta regions are more inclined to vote skirt and blouse. So you see Northeast is 35%, people likely to vote that way, all the way down to Western North, 14%, still significant. And then supporters of smaller political parties are more inclined to vote skirt and blouse. Again, we see the numbers for the parties. We also see that, of course, like I said, we are all wearing masks, and our worry has been how would the pandemic affect, the election, the turnout, and all of that. We've seen that a lot of people have registered, a lot of people intend to vote, and so we wanted to know whether this will affect the turnout. And we see that 2 out of 3 believe that the pandemic will not affect voter turnout. So this is where I bring this curtain to a close. And then we will take your questions and gladly respond to them. Thank you.